Hello again, YouTube. This is DJ Vendetta. So in this episode, I want to go over why stealth is just so important. I can understand why some people would want to go with a small Class C or a Class B because they would have all the amenities already built in. They don't have to worry about doing a build out. And just everything's going to pretty much work. Or work with maybe just a little bit of maintenance, depending on the condition the vehicle is in. However, if you're trying to live in a major city, or at least a decently sized city, you may really want to consider just going with a regular van and trying to be as stealth as possible. But why is stealth just so important? Well, because what you're doing, where you live, may be illegal. And if it's not illegal, trust me when I say this, people don't like other people sleeping in their vehicles outside their homes. They think it's strange. They think that you're some kind of creep. They think that you're either, maybe you're casing them or, trying to do something to their kids or whatever it might be. They don't understand that you're just somebody trying to live a simpler life. So, with that being said, that's why being stealth is just so important. So, what do you do to be stealth? Get a regular van. Especially if you can get something like a cargo van. Cargo vans are nice because they're everywhere, they're inconspicuous. Not a whole lot of people pay attention to them. You can install a roof rack on it, mount solar panels to it, and it just looks like a roof rack. You can get a high top. That might be a good thing. However, some cities, like here in San Francisco, restrict your height, for parking in certain areas. So I wouldn't necessarily suggest a high top if you're going to be parking in areas that have these restrictions. If you're going to be doing a lot of traveling, it may not matter so much, because if you get to a city that won't allow you to park there, maybe you'll just move on. But this is mainly for people that are staying in the city that they live in, they work in, they're not going to be doing a whole lot of traveling. This is more for them. So again, back to the cargo van. If you can get like an Astro van, that's a cargo van, that's one of the best vehicles to get small. Can easily fit in parking spaces. It's not tall. And just looks like a regular van just parked on the street. You don't have as much room. But how much room do you really need? If I was to do it again, I probably would have just gotten an Astro van rather than the ambulance. I like the ambulance. I like how much room I've got. But at the end of the day, living in a major city is a bit of a hassle with a vehicle this big. And I'm not that stealth. This thing, stands out like a sore thumb. Once I get it painted nice and all that, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But as of right now, it's missing half the stickers. It's not, you can tell it's a retired ambulance. I'm thinking about going two different ways. Either going, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb, whatever I do. So I'm thinking about just going ahead and having some street artists go and paint my ambulance with my logo and you know, with my YouTube, my Facebook, and all that kind of stuff on it. So people can, at least, if they're wondering who I am, they can look me up easily. But the flip side of it, I've also considered, you know, removing most of the lights, you know, having it one solid color, and hopefully that'll make it a little bit more stealth. But I'm not quite sure which way to go with it, because I don't know if it'll still be that stealth. I mean, I would hope it would just end up looking like more like a work truck at that point. So, with stealth, you know, there's other aspects to being stealth. You know, not having a bunch of lights on at night, not hanging outside your van a lot. The only time you're seen outside your van is when you're walking to it or walking out of it. You're not hanging out. You know, you're not putting up an awning and, you know, or an easy up or something like that and hanging out. You know, being stealth is exactly that, not being noticed. You know, being inconspicuous. And trust me when I say this, the more stealth that you are, the easier things will be for you. You know, just being here in San Francisco since I've been here, and I haven't been here for a month, I've already been in 3 different encounters with the police. 3. Luckily, none of them have resulted in a ticket or a tow or anything like that, but it's still a hassle. I'm just trying to live. I have my full-time job. I'm paying taxes. I just don't rent. That's the only difference between me and somebody else out there that's normal, per se. Now, again, back to the vehicle. Go with an Astro van. Go with a cargo van. An Astro cargo van. Go with something that is inconspicuous. Don't put any kind of flashy rims on it. Don't put on some kind of crazy paint job. Keep it white, because in reality, white is better anyways, especially if you live in the heat. You know, it reflects the heat more than absorbs it like a darker color. So keep it white, and keep it clean, keep it maintained. Make sure, or not make sure, but if you have the option to buy an Astro cargo van that has a partition with a door and everything, that's even better. And because that's a lot easier to black out rather than just having a curtain. Because having a curtain going across, you can't always get full coverage. Because, you know, inside the van it's not completely square. The curtain is going to want to be completely square. So you're going to have some sort of light seepage at night. And also another thing you can do, something that I'm going to be doing soon, with some of my lights in the back, I'm going to get red LEDs. Something I learned in the military with the color red, you know, for lighting at night is easier on your eyes and allows you to see rather well. So I'm going to replace some of the bulbs in the back with red LEDs, and that will cut down on the brightness of the light. It's more inconspicuous. Not that I have a whole lot of light seepage in the back of this, but you know, it's better to have more stealth than less. And don't strap a bunch of things to your van either. I could see maybe going with some kind of rooftop storage, but And that's about it. Don't strap a generator to the outside. Don't, put a kayak or a surfboard up on the roof or any one of these things that makes it not look like a work truck. The more it looks like a work van, the more stealthy you're going to be. Gotta love this view. I know I keep on just taking video of the ocean, but this is mainly where I hang out during the day when I'm not at work. It's calm, nobody bothers me, nobody cares that I'm sitting here, and I am surrounded by at least 2 more van dwellers and a couple RVers. So I'm not the only one just hanging out in this vehicle. So I don't have to worry about people looking at me funny. It's more like, power and numbers type of thing. But yeah, so I guess I don't really need to go over too much more in this vlog. Just something I wanted to bring up. It's important to have stealth for peace of mind and for low stress. Now, if you're in a city where you can park a ginormous RV and nobody cares, parking enforcement doesn't care, the police don't care, and all that, well then by all means, go with something that's not stealth at all. However, if you're in an area where they do care, having more stealth is definitely important. So if you haven't bought a van yet, I would really suggest to look into an Astrovan. If that's too small for you and parking isn't much of an issue, then go ahead and get like an express van or an E350 or any E-Series, those type of vans. Just remember that they're going to be worse on fuel. They're going to be, harder to park, harder to drive, all those things. So just keep that in mind if you want a vehicle that's bigger than just an Astrovan. So I guess that's about it for this one. It's kind of short, a little shorter than normal, but it's just something I definitely wanted to bring up. So, like I said, if you haven't bought a van yet, I would highly suggest to look into an Astro cargo van. And keep your exterior accessories to a minimum, and you'll do just fine as a van dweller. Alright YouTube, until next time, let me take a vape.